Hey guys, BJ the Brave here, back with another Tau deck guide for you. We have just finished doing our Battlesuits deck, so if you've not seen that one yet, go and check it out on the channel. It's a Shadow Sun deck, it's really cool, and you can also run pretty much the same deck with Onvar. It works pretty well, to be honest. But I actually figured that I would have a go at WarShaper next, because those of you who follow the channel, you know I don't play tons of WarShaper, and I actually haven't really done many deck guides. I think I've only ever done one deck guide on WarShaper, so it's about time that I did something with this guy. Now, first up, just want to say on this video that I made a big error when I recorded this originally, and the audio on the games was non-existent, so a little bit annoying. Instead, I'm just going to play some music over the banging soundtrack over the games, and yeah, sorry about that. But anyway, that said, let's take a look at this deck. Now, as I said, I haven't played a ton of WarShaper, and I'm a little bit pushed for time at the minute, but I wanted to try and get this out there. So as we know, WarShaper is a 30 health Warlord, which is the lowest in the game. However, he has this really good strike ability. Every time he strikes, he heals 1. So if we keep hitting something like an enemy Warlord that only has 2 attack, we always come out essentially 1 health better in that trade. So he is a Warlord where you do want to attack every turn, and as such, when you're building decks with him, you've really got to think about the fact that you probably can't be going too late into the game. So he works well basically in a sort of aggro, tempo, or mid-range deck at best. Now, if you play the Grizzly Feet for 2 energy, that gives both WarShaper and all of the infantry troops +1 melee. And one of the things that's really cool about WarShaper, which differentiates from the other Tau Warlords, is it does lean in towards melee attack more than the range attack. So obviously when we're playing things like Orkz, Chaos, Swarmlord, all that sort of stuff, then melee is more of an advantage. And it does allow us to play some other cool cards that are melee focused too. What's really important here is you do get that +1 health to your Warlord and infantry troops as well, which is obviously a +1 health, not a heal, so it's a permanent buff. Alright, so I am calling this deck Hidden Rampage because we've got the Hidden Hunters. I do think this card is an absolutely awesome card on paper. You just don't see it played in Tau much because, again, it's mainly focused around buffing melee damage, and most Tau decks are range focused. But this is a permanent +1 that it gives, and we all know how good stealth is. So I really love being able to play this card. It's one of my favourite cards in the deck. Now we run double Kroot Carnivore. I think this card's one of the best models for you know, how to do these kind of like basic infantry, these staple cards like, you know, Orc Boy and a Space Marine and a Fire Warrior and a Kroot Carnivore. I think the Kroot is probably one of the better ones, to be honest. I really like this rally effect. It means you never run out of value. It's pretty cool, pretty good idea. I like the 3 health. So Kroot Carnivore goes in, and Kroot Carnivore also synergizes really nicely with the Thundering Rampage. So the Thundering Rampage has got a buff this season, and for only 2 energy now we can give something +3 melee if it's a friendly unit, and if it's infantry it gets flank as well. So that means that with the Kroot Carnivore, for only 4 energy, we get a 6 damage flanker, which is absolutely insane. You know, Sisters pay 6 energy for a Seraphim, for example. So it's really good removal, and something that, because of the Carnivore's rally ability, it's pretty much always there on tap. So I really like the Thundering Rampage in this deck. It also has great synergies with other cards, things like On Shi, for example. On turn 8, this thing can be a 9 damage flanker with a shield, which is absolutely phenomenal. Or with the Honored Ethereal, you know, on turn 6, again, this would be a 7 damage flanker. So overall, I do think Thundering Rampage is just absolutely devastating in this deck. It's got some really good, solid targets. So yeah, it's in. Now, in addition to the Hidden Hunters, we also run Stealth Drones. So lots and lots of stealth in this deck, guys. It's a real problem for our opponents. I, in addition to that, run obviously Emergency Dispensation. It's one of the best Tau cards in So one of the best cards full stop in the game. And if you're playing against an opponent who is being a bit slower, for example in the tempo, or there's no threat, you can kind of sneak this in on 3, and then you can draw like a lone spear or a long strike, something big, and you can play those like a couple of turns later. So that's always pretty devastating. Now I run a single copy of the Fire Warrior Breacher. I do like having a smattering of vanguards because it just makes the trades a lot more awkward for our opponent. And if you're wondering why we're running a Fire Warrior, well, look at the stats, right? It's got the 3/3, so it's the even stuff. We can play those because obviously it leans into being having its melee buffed, and we're not sacrificing its best power stat. And so yeah, the breach is quite nice. You could definitely run 2. I just struggle to fit it in. And to be honest, I like the idea of just like weaving in that Vanguard when it's going to disrupt our opponent, when they want to make a trade, and you stick their Vanguards in there. The Kroot Hounds are really essential in this deck. You know, you're getting 6 health for 3 energy, phenomenal. And we run the Trail Shapers too, and the Trail Shapers are really nice. They're not badly statted, and the fact that they have a rally that returns an infantry to your hand and lowers its cost to 1 works really nice with Kroot Hound, right? Because you can then replay the Kroot Hound, which then, because of its rally, deploys a second Kroot Hound. So the value that you get from that chain is absolutely phenomenal. Really, really, really good. Yeah, Trail Shapers are very good. You can also do fancy things with a Kroot Carnivore and end up getting like multiple Carnivores in your hand, which is quite fun as well. And we run the Vespids because they're nice cheap flankers, and again, they're not a bad target for the Trail Shaper. So lots of good targets for that. The Honoured Ethereal, again, Honoured Ethereal and On She, these are the cards that you see in a lot of Tau decks, but they're actually way better in this deck because of that melee stat and the fact that they're both infantry, so they synergize really well with all the things that we're putting in here. Now in the 4-drops we do have 1 copy of Hunter's Instinct. This card's not real, no, this card is a bit situational. It's not always easy to get off, but there are situations where it's very, very good. It actually works quite well with Fusillade in playing that on 8, but I'm not running Fusillade here. What we are running is the Krutos Riders, really solid statted 4-drops and nice bit of tempo damage as well. Really like this card. And then we've got the new Breacher Chasui. I say new because of the recent balance patch. And this thing got some serious stat buffs. And again, like we said earlier, we can run this because of the even stats. It can lean into the melee stuff that we're trying to do here, and it's a nice Vanguard unit as well to slow our opponent down. And the Flesh Shaper is just one of the MVPs of the deck, right? It's one of the main win cons, and especially when we can do things like creating a sort of wall of stealthed units, it really gives us the power in the next turn to then drop Flesh Shaper and just kind of like kill his board off and get some serious buffs going on. Really like that card in here. Now the Enforcer Battlesuit is the one battlesuit that we're running, and it's obviously more statted towards range. So this is the one card that breaks the rule. Why do we run it? Because it's just so good, guys. It's just so good for 6 energy, this card now, that you've got to run it. And again, it can bring a little bit of sneaky tactics into the deck as well, like tricking trades, giving range attack to things that you wouldn't normally have, so your opponent isn't expecting it. And obviously it's a hell of a Vanguard, so again we've got quite a lot of Vanguard in the deck now that's really going to kind of slow our opponent down. Really like this deck. I've only got a single Rampager. Honestly, you could drop this, and the reason I say that is because we are running Thundering Rampage, so we've kind of already got those big flanking turns covered. But I like to have one, just like, you know, it helps in things like chaos matchups, and just it's just nice to have as like insurance. But I definitely don't think you need 2 in this deck. What I do think are really good though is the Lone Spears, really nice target for things like emergency dispensation, and just really, really solid, gives us a bit of AoE, and obviously infantry, and can benefit from the melee stuff we're trying to do again. And last but not least, we got Long Strike. It's a Tau deck, guys. Top tip, if you're playing Warpforge and you own this card and you're building a Tau deck, you play this card in your Tau deck. It's just that simple. It's always in top end of every Tau deck. So yeah, that is the deck. Obviously in the Mulligan I tend to look for a Carnivore. We'll keep stealth drones. If we've got the Carnivore, then getting the Rampage is quite nice to keep as well. But generally speaking, we're looking for that early curve. So I'm really looking for those Kroot Hounds, Trail Shapers, Vespid are nice for the flanks as well. I will I will keep, the only thing I'll keep from the later game is the Flesh Shaper. I think this card is a one of, and if you've got it in your opening hand, I would keep it. But everything else I would get rid of and really look hard for those 2 and 3 drops. You just want to kind of have a strong curve. But again, as we said earlier, the WarShaper is actually pretty good to just play Grizzly Feast on the first turn and attack. That's a perfectly reasonable start with this guy. Just make sure to play the Grizzly Feast first so that you get the +1 health before you then attack. So yeah, that's the deck, guys. I hope you really like this. As I say, apologies for the muck-up on the recording with the sound in the games, but let me know what you think to the deck in the comments, and if there's anything that you would tweak or change, I'd love to hear it. Thanks for all the support, guys, and yeah, let's jump on into some games, and thanks for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.